What is going on, everybody? As I take a sip from my soda in my cup that I know someone spit in, I want to welcome the most diabolical haters and co-hosts and guests here with me. As I welcome to the Infinity Equation, play haters ball. Hate. No, I'm joking. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? It's going to be a great night. We're going to have some good times. What's going on, everybody in the chat? Appreciate y'all showing up and being hanging out with us. Let's round it off here, starting with my left, right. Start with the man, the Marvelous Legend man, I should say. It Hasbro's sights, Mr. Rectangular. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. I'm finally getting around to I'm going to be opening toys on the show because I haven't had time to open any toys.
And the man next to him, Mr. Laser Pants 81. How you doing, sir?
What's up? You don't like the movie or like the commercial?
Yes.
No?
Yeah. And Mr. Wrestling Man himself, the guy who's stomping mud holes and taking names and kicking ass with the cover cap and your free accessories pack, Mr. Bobby Valor. How you doing, sir?
I'd be doing a lot better if you put that picture that I sent you into the intro.
I got somebody working on it.
I was excited like a little kid. I was like, I can't wait for the intro. And I watched the intro, and I felt like I ordered something from NECA. That's what I felt.
Damn right, that's what it was. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. In this time of COVID, people,
I asked for one thing.
See, hate. Next person that gets said something gets shot. Believe that.
All right, let's get to our sexy guest here.
And then our special guest, Mr. Player with himself, from the ToyMigos that we borrowed tonight, and we'll be on later with Unparalleled Universe, Mr. Adam Van Wickler. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Oh, great to have you on. Glad we can bar you out. They let you off the show for a hot second. Oh, wait a minute. Hot damn. Hold on. Wait a minute. We got another special guest.
Oh, no.
Who is in the house?
Oh,
Dave Bonner.
What up?
Look at that, people.
Dabs all around. What's up, people?
What's up?
What's going on?
How you doing? We're gonna have a long night tonight, bro.
I know. You ready?
Seriously, I hope. Does your wife know that you're gonna be gone until like midnight tonight?
She's shopping. She's gone. She said, "I'm out."
Welcome, sir, to the most. This is the Player Hater Show. This is the most diabolical haters ever put together.
How y'all doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm living. Can't complain. Bobby, what up, baby?
What's up, baby? How you been?
You looking good, man. I love the facial.
Thanks, man. What happened? I gained weight. My face got fat, so I was like, let me grow a beard.
Solid plan.
He's gonna put a cover on it now.
Plus, I lost my hair, so I'm like, I gotta put it somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, you look good, baby.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, so what did we get this week? Let's start with you, Ty. Since you're over there opening boxes, over the 25 boxes from Target.
Oh, yeah. Most important, we'll start off strong.
Wouldn't say you're starting off strong.
Nice.
Got him.
I had to get a pair of these guys to beat up on as random terrorists. So, that was an ordeal trying to get these guys. They've been sitting at my Target for probably 2 weeks. And, they continually give you the street date story, but finally found the right kid to ask at the right time. And I said, look, I know your system. It says that they're street dated, but if you scan it, it's not gonna it's gonna let me buy it. Can we please just go back there and bring them out and we'll give it a shot? And so he's like, okay, and went back there and got him. And when he came out, he said, "Oh, you're lucky because the cool manager is here today, so he let me do it." And I was like, "Yeah, no wonder I couldn't get anywhere the other day." So yeah, they had 4, and I just took the 2. I didn't try to get too greedy about it, but I might go back tomorrow since sounds like Adam still needs them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use them to fight my Action Force figures.
There you go.
But who's winning?
Action Force. Come on.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Aim straight.
I got Shuri and Shang-Chi at Walmart, both on clearance.
Oh, that's what I just got. Thanks to Adam. Adam hooked me up with Shang-Chi.
Nice.
Yeah, it was only $11 at Walmart. So I was like,
I paid full price for yours, Vonner. Like that was like $25 right there, man.
I'll pay you back full price.
and then I grabbed Strong Guy Wave. I got a case this weekend, and then almost a full case yesterday, but they magically Warpath was missing. So yeah, that sucked that he was gone. And then I got some more of the vintage wave. Trying to think. So I've got like a couple of complete sets of the vintage wave, but some incomplete because the Spider-Man keeps eluding me. And then I got that Polaris dune buggy. I thought it was on clearance at Target, and I thought it was going to be $17.50. And when I took it to the register, it rang up as $9, $9.50, or some shit like that.
That's not bad.
So after tax, it was and my Target discount, it was $11 out the door. So I was like, I was channeling Punker Mike, come up, and that was my week.
Mr. Laser Pants.
Yeah, I just want to say Todd put in a lot of work to get what he got this week, man.
That is true,
He was
yes.
keeping us updated on his adventures at Target. Yeah, he put in work. Hasbro finally sent me the rest of the Wave 1 G.I. Joes. So I got in Snake Eyes, which looks way better in all black, man. I didn't think it would be that much better than the exclusive that I already had. But the just that more classic look, all black, is awesome. And
Yeah.
then
I keep forgetting that the exclusive had like gray pants or gray.
yeah,
Brown.
it was like brown. Yeah. And then I got the Roadblock, which I immediately cut off that vest they gave him. And then Scarlet, which it's fine, but I don't need all the rainbow colors. I'll probably repaint it. And then I found the Luke and Yoda 2-pack at Target. That's probably a couple of the best Black Series figures that they've put out in a while. Even though they're changing articulation and it's getting simpler, like they gave him single jointed knees and single jointed elbows. The range of movement that they have is pretty good, and the head sculpt is one of the best Mark Hamill head sculpts that they've done so far. And then I picked up the blue Deadpool because that was the only one left of the it was Strong Guy Wave.
Yeah.
I was watching that Target on Pop Finder all week for the Strong Guy Wave. It showed 8. By the time I got there at like 7:10, 10 minutes after they opened, all that was left was Deadpool. And then I got in. I got this today, man, and this is street dated. I didn't know. I just picked it up off the shelf. New Iron Man armor. It's like It's cool. So I took it up to the register, self-checkout, and it's street dated until tomorrow. So it beeped and the message popped up that says cannot sell until 8/1. And the clerk, a young kid, he came up behind me. He's like, oh, here, let me fix that. And he's like, I think these are 15. He puts in $15 and then he hits non-taxable. So I got it for 15 out the door. So I was like, I didn't say anything.
Hey, employee of the
like,
month. He's
like whatever, I'll get it later when it hits $9, but I don't care. But he just gave me like, yeah, man. And so he got me that, and then I said thanks. I thought that was pretty cool. And then I got in 4 out of what is there 5 in that Jazzwares UFC line, or there's 6?
Well, there's 6 with the variant.
Okay, so I got in 5 of them. Or no, I got in 4 of them from Amazon, and the one that I ordered from Ringside still hasn't shipped, which was Conor McGregor, the one that I really wanted. And they look good. I haven't opened them yet, but in package, they look really good. Articulation looks good. Head sculpts are good, even though they're not doing the digital face printing.
How tall are they?
Yeah. How tall are they?
They look a little bit shorter than Legends. Like
all right,
they might.
So here's the issue, because when I designed them, they were designed to be in scale with elites. And I stressed to the marketing team, I said, listen, we have to have like continuity across other brands that aren't ours. And everyone's like, yeah, it's fine. So I'm telling everyone, they're elite scale. And then I see Jeremy Bauer put out something about it, like them being small. So I sent him a message and I'm like, why are they small? And he's like, well, I guess they thought that they should be scaled more towards like figure arts figures, like imports. And I'm like, I didn't mean for them to be that way. They were on all my docs. They were all elite scaled figures, closer to the 7-inch mark. And he was like, yeah, that was before me. He goes, that's too bad it happened that way. But moving forward, they're going to be scaled with elite. So it's kind of a bummer.
I mean, now they're creating a clusterfuck.
Yeah, because now you're going to have a series of figures that don't fit with your figure. So what are you going to do? Are you going to re-release Series 1 rescaled, or are you just going to go with the figures I had set up for Waves 2 and 3 and just say, sorry, we screwed that one up? So I was really pissed about that because I put a lot into that line, even though they really didn't put a lot of effort into it themselves.
I really don't think they're 7-inch. They look slightly smaller than Legends, but I haven't opened it. But I'll tell you what, I'll go grab one and I'll come back and show it.
Cool. Yes. Sweet. Bonner, get anything new this week?
Well, I got my Shang-Chi in from Adam. Thank you so much. But actually, I've been stuck. So, but I just went to my comic book shop and picked up a bunch of comic books, old stuff that I've been trying to hunt down and everything. I'm currently into Savage Avengers, so I'm getting all the back issues of that.
That's so good. It's so good.
Yo, it is so good, man. It's like it's like Saturday afternoon TV, man. Like you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's really, really good. So it's been fun like reading that. So I've been picking that up. Picked up a bunch of old Thors and stuff, and some Doctor Stranges and a couple old issues.
Nice.
How about you guys? What you get,
Bobby?
I didn't get much in this week, but I did. I mean, so I actually placed an order for NECA, and it went through. So I was excited about that. But what I did get in today was, so you guys know Chris Lyons. He's doing a dio for me for Action Force. So I found I've been really into that Tommy Tech like weapons racks and things like that, and I just like splurged on a shit ton of like more weapons racks, and they had like a shooting range set up. So I got one of the Tommy Tech racks in, which is awesome because it's like you could take all my gear and then I can hang it in there with the dial when it comes in. So it's like I don't have to go and make the racks. It's like these racks are perfect. So I use them for when I do shows, for when I take photography and stuff like that. So that stuff is awesome. It's a little pricey because it's an import, but it's totally worth it because no one else is doing anything like it.
Yeah.
Adam?
I was out running around like crazy at Targets trying to find GI Joes and the NECA cartoon stuff. I had absolutely no luck getting what I wanted, but I did. I grabbed these two guys, even though Dorkside order of a case is supposed to be coming sooner or later. But I figured it doesn't hurt to have an extra Spider-Man or Daredevil. I also Hasbro Pulse finally shipped me my Destro, so I got Destro finally, and like this is the best figure in Wave 1. I know everyone's crazy about Snake Eyes and talking about like Snake Eyes as the figure of the year, but like as far as I'm concerned, it's Destro in Wave 1.
Oh, wait till you get Pimp Destro.
Yo, I mean, let me see. What makes the Destro so much better?
He has the same articulation breakdown, so he's just as posable, and like this one is more reminiscent of the vintage card art to me. So it's like,
Oh, I got you.
He just seems more like what I want out of a G.I. Joe line, and he's awesome. And then yesterday, I got this guy in. I swapped his head out, so he's got the Diabolic head on it instead of the Gomez head, but it's the Mezco, Comic-Con in a box set. So
Sick.
I got a figure I really wanted, and then a bunch of stuff that I didn't need that apparently cost like $80 extra.
So these are definitely way small. Here he is next to.
Oh,
Silza.
So heartbreaking.
See, yeah, man, those are like, man.
All that work, man. That pisses me off. Something awful.
I'd say they're even small for figure arts.
Ugh.
Well, Vega's tall. I'm looking at Vega right now.
Ugh.
But yeah, they're small. They're real small.
See yeah, that's gonna be a mess.
Some fucking bullshit, man.
See, I'm just thinking about how you're gonna, go forward, like using those bodies. You can't use them.
Yeah.
To max parts and all that, so you're gonna have to start off fresh, which means you're not gonna get the wide variety that you could have had it been done right.
I set it up so that there were 4 body styles to choose from based on the weight classes. And it's like they used all 4 body styles in Wave 1, and now you can't use them again.
Yeah.
Unreal. I'm so pissed because I love that line so much.
It's a shame, man, because other than the size, these are really good. I mean, the articulation, they got butterfly joints. The soft goods are really nice. It's almost like a spandexy type of material, so it hugs the sculpt. That's a damn shame.
Let me know how the butterflies work, because I went like twice as deep into the chest, so that, because it's like the importance of them is to get rear naked chokes and Kimuras and things like that. So I said I wanted to cut deeper. So when I kicked it off with Adam with his team, like I wanted to make sure that we got a better range in there than like a Legends or something like that, because it was important for. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm still. They look small, but I'm still excited for them. I think they'll be their good own little shelf. I'm being optimistic about it. It'll be its own little subfunction.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just really excited because they finally shipped my Hush Batman. I'm just excited.
That's I just ordered that. I actually ordered that the other day.
That's a gorgeous figure. That's an absolute gorgeous figure.
That's going to be a figure of the year contender for sure.
Dante, did you get the Superman too? Did you order Superman?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I got Superman. I got the Carnage. I think those were only 3 I got. I know I got Catwoman, and I think I ordered Hush as well.
The only thing I was a little concerned with on Batman was because there's so many folds in his cape where it sat at his neckline here. It looked like it bunched up a little bit, but it's an amazing figure.
Yeah, it's a nice sculpt. It looks really good.
I can look it up real quick because I think the Exclusive Magazine had it. But I'm just happy I also got my skeletons in from Amazon finally.
I got mine too. They're so good.
Yeah, they're freaking amazing. I love them.
Those are the Storm Collectibles Golden Axe ones?
Oh my God, yo, I've been having the worst. I hate Storm Collectibles right now. I can't. Everything I want is gone. Like everything I want is sold out from them, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I missed Doomsday. I'm pissed I missed Doomsday.
I'm mad that I passed up on that one as well.
I just opened Snake Eyes.
Oh, that's a problem.
That happened with one of my roadblocks, actually. Same thing. It was all wobbly. in the torso.
Yeah, that's not cool. Oh man, gonna have to stuff something down there.
Let's see. This Batman here.
See, you know what, man? I don't know what it. Oh yeah. I mean, I know that guys been wanting G.I. Joe and Sixers for a long time, but I just can't get into it. I can't.
After last Tuesdays, after the debacle with Roadblock getting the other ones, I'm done. I'm done after this. Like if I find them, I find them. If I don't, I don't. I'm just done. I can't. I can't deal with this. There's too many lines. Like Marvel Legends takes up most of my money. Those Sentinels are taking up my money. Bobby's taking up my money, and then it'll be Adam taking my money. So I mean, like everybody's taking money out of my pocket. I ain't got enough for a mortgage. You're gonna see me outside with figures around me in a box.
How many Sentinels yet now?
I'm still at 4. Still going for 4. We're going for the big 4. I might not have a life. I might not have a family anymore, but they'll be my new family. They'll be my 4 little kids around me.
You're gonna give more ammunition to Michael Wisman calling you Dave Chappelle. Like, I'm broke, motherfucker. I'm broke.
That's right. I sure will. I don't care. It was worth it.
Has anyone seen what the box art looks like for the Sentinel yet?
No,
have they showed that yet?
No, they haven't shown that yet.
Probably haven't even designed it yet.
Yeah, probably not.
They're like, well, let's make sure it fucking funds first.
Actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at this Batman, I don't see the kryptonite ring hand.
It might be on his arm.
Or does he come with Superman? I can't remember.
Adam, that kind of reminds me of the greatest Batman that people will never see.
Oh, you can talk about that.
What's that?
I mean,
Batman.
Talk about it. You just did. Talk about it more.
Yeah, so please tell us. Like, I'm curious now. Like, what's the greatest Batman that we'll never see?
Tell him.
Well, it was a 6-inch Batman that was done that Adam and I worked on, and but it came in right around, I wasn't on a DC team at Mattel, and it came in like right around the tail end of the whole partnership with DC and Mattel. But there was a very cool Batman that we worked on, that Adam worked on, that was super dope. That could have been. Not only was it a very cool version, but it was a whole new body too, a whole new body type that could have been used. It's like my feeling with the Mattel line. I think they just used a particular body style for too long, and it just overshot its need.
I'm looking for this right now. This could only be my definitive Batman for right now. But that Batman you just described sounds.
It was dope. It was dope. I wish I had it. I wish I had. I wish I had the prototype.
Adam, why don't you grow us a copy?
I can actually do that. Hey, Bobby, you know what I wanted to talk about is how. I think it was you and I developed the that Power Rangers style articulation on the Marvel 12-inch line that everybody is all about. Like, it's like, that is old.
I know.
We did that on the 12-inch Cap, Iron Man, the Spider-Man body. That was this way.
That was us, baby. That was us. Man, that 12-inch line did not get the love it should have got, man. We put a lot into that. Line, and they mishandled it. Amazon fucked them. So it was just a cluster right from the start. It should have been in a closed box or with a 5th panel. They catered to the retail on it. So it was doomed from the start, which is unfortunate because it felt like the UFC line. Like, I put so much into it and we worked really hard on it, and the product itself came out great, and then it was just poorly handled when it got out of our hands. But also, it's like, dude, look at the articulation that the independent hip joints that I put on the UFC figures. They're doing on the GI Joes. So that's all that stuff's kind of interesting. But yeah, man, 12-inch figures were the shit.
Yo, it's amazing how like the potential of stuff like that, like the 12-inch lines and all that, really never get the push that they could.
Yep.
Because it's like you get the bang for your buck. You get a nice scale figure. You can play around with the articulation, so it can give them decent stuff. But if the sculpt is decent and the movement is okay, people will buy into it, sure. and you can expand the line.
Yep. That Hulk, man, that 14.5-inch Hulk was a work of art, man. That figure came out amazing.
And I picked it up at Ross for $20.
Oh, it's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it right.
I had so much planned for like the future waves. Like I had a classic Thanos plan.
Oh, wow.
Captain Marvel was going to be my first female out of the gate, but Marvel's like, no, we got the movie coming out. I was like, yeah, perfect time. They're like, no, we can't have classic and movie at the same time. So, yeah, it was a bummer. I had a lot planned for that line, and it just got fumbled big time.
So how come they never talked about a Giant Man?
It was kind of one of those things where we had put out the Comic-Con set that I did, the Ant-Man set, but it wasn't really something that was on the radar at the time because he wasn't a big enough character. We were looking for A-listers to start off that line. You don't want to start a line with C characters or B characters. You want to come out with your heavy hitters and then build a foundation and then start sprinkling in those, the second, third tier characters after that. So Giant Man was never really something that was on the radar with it when we were working on it.
I want to say real quick, thank you, gentlemen, because I love that 12-inch line. Everybody was hating on it when I was loving it. I love it.
You're one of 5 people that bought it.
Honestly, I have almost every one of them except for the Gray Deadpool and the GameStop version Deadpool. I think those are the only two, and Iron Man. That's the only one I'm missing.
Do you have the Daredevil, the Comic-Con Daredevil?
Yes, I have Daredevil. I have Spider-Man. I have the Hulk. I have Black Panther. Actually, the Black Panther, you'll love this one. My mom got me that one. So
nice.
The Daredevil was how I first met Matt Cardona, who now is working with Valaverse on Stompin' Paradise figures.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I had no idea who he was. And Dwight was like, hey, here's the designer that worked on that. And this jack dude had just gotten the Daredevil. And he's like, hey, man, great job on this. He's like, can I take a picture with you? Can you sign it and stuff like that? And I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. So I signed it. We took a picture. And he walked away. And I said to Dwight, I was like, who was that? And he goes, oh, it's Zack Ryder. I was like, I hadn't watched since I stopped watching after WrestleMania 20. So I didn't know who the new talent was at the time.
Right.
And it wasn't until a few years after that I started watching again. So I think it's funny now that it's like, now that I'm working with him, and it's like I look back at that picture, I'm like, that's really funny.
That's funny. He's a big toy guy.
Oh
too.
Yeah.
We would love to have more. We've been trying Bobby, try to have Bobby slide in and be like, hey, why don't you come on with us? Come on in.
I'll see what I can do. He's awesome. I mean, they do a lot with their podcast, and now that he's with AEW,
man,
we'll see. But maybe when the Stomp figures come out, maybe we'll try to get them on then.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be happy with that. Man, this is already exciting. I'm excited. It's Friday. We talked about some 12-inch line that I love. And I got my little 12-inch Spider-Man here, one of my favorite ones. I'm sorry, I'm a big Spider-Man head.
Yeah, I really wanted to get that Daredevil. The only one I have is Thor. I want to get the Daredevil and the Hulk.
I'm telling you, when I think it was that whatever year. What year did that come out, Bobby? The San Diego Daredevil.
2017.
So yeah, it was on the website. It was on the old Hasbro website at that point. And that's when that's how I got it. I was thankful I didn't have to pay eBay prices. Oh my goodness.
I want to answer the one question we got in the chat about the molded weapons on Deadpool. While we're talking about 12-inch, but he said, so the reason why you got molded weapons on Deadpool is because Disney had told us that we couldn't do realistic weapons, which is why he comes with space blasters. But I was like, he's got to have I was fighting with Jesse about it, and I'm like, Jesse, come on, it's Deadpool. He's got to have guns. Can't do it. I said, all right, well, what if we put guns in his holsters that can't come out? And he goes, yeah, that's okay. So my plan was to have the guns sculpted up and glued into the holsters so you could pull them out. But HFE, our China counterpart, they ended up just cutting the barrel and then just kind of making the holster solid and keying it in. And I was like, oh, what a bummer.
Oh,
but
man.
The cool
that's when you gotta talk to HFE every night, bro. You gotta VC with them. You gotta call them up. Whoever the engineer is, like, you gotta work with your engineer that work with the engineers over there to make sure you get stuff like that. Because I ran into the same thing with Red Skull doing the Invaders pack. It was like the same exact thing. Same exact situation, but it was like, and it was like everyone forgot that, like, Red Skull was a Nazi,
right?
Like, yo, like, is this new news? Like, what's up? What's happening? I'm like, yo, I mean, like, the body's already existing. All they're going to do with the head was like, I don't know about using the Red Skull and make sure he doesn't have any guns and insignia. I'm like, well, I mean, we're not gonna make it blandly obvious that homeboy's a Nazi, but I mean, we do remember that he's a Nazi, right? I mean, we can't really get around that.
If on the Deadpool, the guns that are in his holster, if anyone in the chat can tell me what movie they're from, I'll send them an Action Force T-shirt.
Ooh, there you go. Look, there you go. Come on, chat.
They're from an excellent action movie.
I hope no.
I could probably tell you if I had the figure to look at.
I actually had the figure right here. I can grab it. He's like staring at me right in my face.
You're not allowed to do it.
I'm not.
You're disqualified.
I'm not going to do it. But we did have a question from Rob Powell. He says, do you guys ever venture into mini-mates? I just ordered the X Factor Build-A-Figure Strong Guy set as well. Can't wait.
Nice.
Mini-mates.
Not me.
I'm super selective. I have Gamora, and I have a classic Gamora, and I have Angela, and then I have the 3 2-packs that just came out for the new Guardians, the new Guardians team. So there was like Adam Warlock. I think there's maybe a Silver Surfer. I think there's a Moon Dragon Build-A-Figure. And I don't remember who else is part of it, but I'm a total mark for Guardians. So if it's Guardians, then I'm all over it for any figure line.
I'm always like picking them up and looking at them. I'm always super tempted because I really like them. They're like a really upgraded Lego minifigure, which I also like. But one way I limit myself in purchases is 6-inch only. And I've been doing that for like 5 years now. So, but they're great.
They are. I picked up a couple. I have like some of the Spider-Man. Like, I was really getting into it just for the Spider-Man mini-mates. And then the Avengers kind of brought me in. And it's like, oh, man, well, I got to finish Alpha Flight. Oh, man, now I got to finish this. Then that's how I got deeper and deeper.
That's how it gets you.
Right.
That's actually what I like about it, because it's like you can't stop. It's like candy.
Yeah, definitely. So the last one I really want to get is the last Alpha Flight set, like the other half of Alpha Flight. Like, I think it's on Amazon for like maybe like $30 or $40. I'm just not making a real trigger on that yet. I can't do it. Let's see. We got some more comments, and we appreciate everybody here in the chat. We thank you for all y'all coming out here and listen to the most diabolical haters on the Infinity Equation. That's right. This is Dave Chappelle night. I'm here for this. You know what? I'm not even gonna I'm not gonna start with you, Judd. And then here's unboxing art starting trouble already. Talking about, I heard Dante brought 100 Mexico John Wicks. I didn't buy that knockoff figure, okay? Him and his knockoff suit and his knockoff face. What did you say earlier, Ryan? His Wish outfit, that Wish figure.
Yeah, that's the AliExpress John Wick. Unboxing art. He just loaded his he uploaded his review, and it's trash, man. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. And it's not just the head sculpt. It's the weapons. It's his hands. It's his articulation. It's the suit. I don't know what happened, but it might be the biggest letdown ever, especially since I bought it 16 months ago. Yeah, it sucks.
Now getting it.
Yeah.
It's reminds me of
That's like a blind date from hell, yo.
Yeah.
Like, you been talking on the phone and all that. Like, yeah, the voice is beautiful and you just can't wait. And then all of a sudden, woo,
Oh,
Ryan got catfished.
woo, you just got woo.
yep. Mezco catfished us, man. They photoshopped their pictures.
Next
Oh,
thing,
God.
we'll see you on MTV Catfish today. Hey Nev, I need to go find this person out. I need to see if this person John Wick's real or not. Like if this is John Wick is real or not. I need to go talk to Mezco. Rob says, "Is Deadpool packing a noisy cricket?"
Nope.
Expert says, "Are one of the guns from Shoot 'Em Up?"
Nope.
Articulate says, "Pretty stack hater tea."
Oh yeah.
Ginger Hitman says the guns in Deadpool's holster or out in the promo pic.
The ones that are in the holsters, the ones that you can't remove.
Let's see. Wrestling House says, "Can I get an F for Mezco John Wick?" Yes. A lot of people are giving them Fs. Let's see. And my boy Disavow, always check him out also on Instagram with his lives. He does some good ones with his unboxings. So what are the odds Walmart gets their Jazzware AEW figures on pegs by Monday, as was said in the commercial?
Not good. It's Walmart.
Right.
I'd say 0%.
And if they're out, they're going to be going. Because, every wrestling fan is going to be out there getting them.
I did notice my Walmart. It looked like they were trying to do a reset. Like they had those Avengers figures on clearance, and like the shelf space was like really open. So who knows?
I'm still the sucker that goes to Walmart a couple times a week looking for the KC RAF 2-pack. I don't know why I'm such a sucker to do it.
I don't know.
Every time.
They don't even have a NECA section at my Walmart. Nothing.
Not even buy like the DVDs?
Nope.
Mine does, but the only thing in it is McFarlane figures.
Yeah.
No.
Cyberpunk. There's like 30 Cyberpunk figures.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend went to 2 different Walmarts within like 10 miles of each other, and neither one of them had a toy section in the DVD area.
I think they said that John Wick forehead could stop a bullet, man. Actually, Expert says the Diamond Select John Wick figures are better. You know what? Honestly, you might not be wrong with that one.
I'd say they're a better value.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Are the DP guns from Face Off?
Bobby?
Boom! Got it.
There you go, JL Reject. Got it.
Nicolas Cage comes out with gold 1911s, 45s in the very beginning of the movie. And I was like, oh, gold 45s. Deadpool's got to rock some gold 45s. So, yeah, shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram or something. I'll make sure you get a shirt.
So how'd you get that through?
Well, I didn't say it. I mean, I didn't put the dragon inlay in the handle, but I said I want, when I spec'd it, I said I want gold 45. So
Right.
mold them in gold, black handle. They look good.
See,
I was thinking Snatch because I could have sworn there was a golden 911 in Snatch, but I could be wrong.
Not that I can remember. He had a gold. What's it called? Desert Eagle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we got all these big dogs from the toy manufacturing world, I have a few questions. One in particular is the plastic. the GI Joes and the Marvel Legends seem to have really good quality plastic, and Adam, I don't know if you had any decision on this, but the articulated icons figures seem a lot more brittle and fragile. So I don't know if it was a screw up on the factory's part or what, but is there like a special blend of different materials that they use, or different grades of plastic? Because I noticed and Vonner can probably answer this too, because the ToyMigos figures seem to be a lot more brittle as well. Obviously, they were a lot older. So I don't know.
It really depends on the factory. We used for articulated icons, Wave 1, I believe they're still using them. We used Lucky Yay, and that's mostly because I was familiar with that factory team from working at Soda Toys back in the day. So they're the same factory that worked on like Now Playing and Street Fighter. So I had already known the factory reps, and I thought it would be the safest method to go with guys that I actually knew. A lot of the problems are similar problems that plagued some Soda figures as well. I had to replace a lot of Soda figures back in the day as well. So, it's different factories, different methods. Obviously, the Hasbro stuff. It depends on how much money you spend at a factory too. It's like you get different levels of service, you get different levels of quality. It's like there's a lot to these relationships.
Gotcha.
So,
And also too, like that PVC. Well, it's a mix of materials like PVC, ABS, and stuff. But those materials, the weight of it, ultimately factors into the cost of the figure. You know what I mean? So you want to try to keep the weight of that plastic, the amount of mass down. And at times, that's when you have to, work with your engineers to work with the amount of plastic that's actually going into the process. You know what I mean? Like, but also too, like Adam was saying, it depends on the factory. It depends on what you pay for. Like the type of service that you're going to get. So. But also too, the different materials that you're using, is it PVC, ABS, and all that other stuff. So what is what, and those factor into how brittle the figure is going to be, how sturdy it's going to be, how wobbly it's going to be over time. All those parts going to start to warp and everything like that. So sometimes it's not necessarily the plastic itself. Is like over time, some things just begin to warp or expand. The joints begin to expand and loosen. You know what I mean? And also, you got to think about the transportation of the product itself. Like it goes through different temperature extremes. So those different temperature extremes can factor into how ultimately the joint's going to adhere to the parts and all that other stuff. So it's a lot of different factors that come into play as to why the thing is wobbly or it becomes brittle over time and things like that. So it's a lot of different factors, but usually it just boils down to cost, man.
Gotcha. Chris Daltrey has another question. I'm not sure how much you guys worked on Transformers. He says, talking about bad plastics, has anyone heard about the Transformers Masterpiece Hound and the issue with this plastic? Hasn't been out a year and cracks are appearing all over the figure.
I am a Transformers Masterpiece fan. I keep pointing the wrong way. You might be able to see some of them over here. And I passed on Hound because I heard about the issues with him. So I didn't even buy that figure. I'm hoping that he'll get re-released at some point with better quality plastic. But yeah, I heard the same thing.
That is cracking?
Yeah, it's getting, white stress marks.
Is it because of the walls are so thin?
Yeah.
See, another thing too, man, is like some figures, like everything has a really, really, complex look now. Everything is digitally sculpted, but when it comes to the actual molding process, it becomes a little bit more complicated and difficult because a lot of that stuff isn't necessarily moldable, so like different things come into play, like the wall thicknesses of certain areas, or hands or feet or whatever, that stuff comes into play because sometimes just in the design overall is so complex that it has to be a lot of different slides and everything to get that actual part out of the mold. Like, I mean, Bobby, I'm sure you've run into that, plenty of times, man, when there's things that you design that is like, man, damn, it didn't just, what are you guys doing? It doesn't look like this, but it's like, there's also a science to this stuff too, and just things can't be, they're not statues, you know what I mean? Or they're moving parts and using certain materials that just aren't able to flex and bend the way that you would think that you want them to.
Yeah, there are a lot of times where, details will have to soften up just to make a wall thicker or to reduce a slide, because the more slides you have, the more costly it is for those molds. I know I'm even going through it with my weapons packs for the molding. We had to sort of tweak some of the detail on the tops and bottoms of the rifle because, you mold top to bottom, or it's basically side to side on the rifle laying on its side. But, you can't have slides on every single rifle. You're going to end up having, a $5,000 mold is going to turn into a $12,000 mold for what? For a couple millimeter details. So you have to kind of pick and choose your battles. I know that there are some things I definitely fought for, and I said, I need a slide on this because I need to pull this detail. But yeah, I mean, for the 6 years I was at Hasbro, I saw in the beginning things were a lot softer because the factory was more they were just playing it safe with stuff, and they were putting parts up here and there and rounding off edges and increasing durometers and things like that. But then I noticed,
and it's also mass production too.
Mass production,
like it's so much that they're producing.
Yep. But then I noticed, like, as collector stuff started to like increase in sales and the spotlight started getting more onto that stuff, they were taking more liberties at like making things like, okay, well, you have to have that detail. All right, well, we're going to give and take here. It's like there were times where I fought on the thickness of something where I don't know if they thickened up the material behind the head and the head couldn't tilt back that far. I said, no, we got to shave some of that off because the articulation has to be there because of the consumer that this is for. So you take liberties where you can, but yeah, it's like what Vonner said. It's there are a lot of factors that go into it. It's not just like a, hey, we're gonna choose to make shitty plastic or
right.
And a lot of factories, like some factories don't have certain capabilities. So if you're choosing to run at a certain factory, then like I remember when we moved all the tools for Marvel Universe 3 3/4 to a whole nother factory. So the stuff that Vonner had worked on, they were producing this great stuff up until like 2013. And then I took over the line and they moved it. And then my 2015 figures were all kind of soft and lost a lot of detail. And the plastics, like the ABS wasn't really matching the PVC that well. And the articulation wasn't as good because you have this new factory and they haven't had these years of finessing that line. They're taking it from the start. So it's not just like, hey, why is this plastic shitty? Why'd you choose to make shitty plastic? It's just there's so many other factors involved with making it.
Yeah, what you're talking like that ramp up process, like like people don't really understand, like all the factories don't have the same standards or the same experience level. Like, the guys who work at the factory, they basically also live there, so when if a factory, loses certain accounts or they got to downsize, whatever, then they move to another factory, if they're lucky enough to do that. Or sometimes they just go, back inland, something like that. But when you have to factor in the ramp up process, basically everyone has to go through the whole learning process all over again about years and years of what was already done. So now this whole new group has to go through that learning process again, in a totally different way, so It's a lot of different things that come into play. And like another thing that Bob brought up was like, if you do have to shave like some material, like say you got to shave some material off the back of the head to make it move. Well, now you've done that. Now the licensor is like, well, it doesn't look shit like the character. Well, that's kind of necessary because now we have to get the movement. So now it's a balance between the engineering part and the licensing part. Like now you got to walk that line, So it like certain things come into play, like certain looks have to be done for the sake of the engineering of it, or there was just a coming to Jesus moment where the licensor and the licensee had to be like, hey, all right. Let's go with it. We can't get what we want. It's not. We got to get the movement that we want, but it's not going to look the way we want it to. It got to be a compromise somewhere, or we agree and let's move on. Like there's a lot of different things that come into play, when it comes to the end result of that action figure.
Gotcha. Man, I learned so much right now. Man, I feel like I'm in a class. Like, let me get my notebook out here.
Yo, man, Bonner's a pro, man.
Yo, and this is just the 10 o'clock meeting. Now the 11 o'clock meeting is about something else. You know what I mean? Now the 11 o'clock meeting is about the packaging. You know what I'm saying? Like every hour in the day, there's fires that's going on. And just when you think that you put out the fire, like all right, now that we got the plan together, we fixed it. We let in, like, HFE know, or Mattel, they're called MOA. You know what I mean? Their HFE is MOA. So you let MOA know. And it's like, just when you think that you established the plan and everything is going to go according to that plan, the next day, everything is just completely haywire, or there's a whole new set of problems. It's like, and that's just how it is every day.
Then remember, what was the meeting they had every year where like Chinese would go out to HFE and they would haggle with the price of the factory? What did they call that?
Yeah, it's like your annual cost increase. Like this is kind of like what always happens. Like annually there's always like cost increase in material. Like the cost of steel goes up. Mm-hmm. The cost of oil goes up, and plastic is a byproduct of petroleum. You know what I'm saying? So all the stuff that you see that's going on in the world, in the Middle East and all that, it affects ultimately the type of toy that you're going to get. Like the global economy and the global manufacturing process ultimately affects what you buy in the store. So it's like, every year you got to try to, fight these guys. And see, back in the day, it was a little bit different. It was, there was a lot more that you could negotiate with the factories. It wasn't a lot of competition and all that. Now it's like the factories know that, they basically have you over a barrel, So, and with that, there's not like the type of negotiating that used to be done back in the day. Like it used to be some guys that were like, some dogs that would seriously negotiate, some good prices, annually. But now it's like, the global economy has changed, and those factories can move on and produce other things as well. And they're automated, the technology has increased. So it's like, you coming in there with your toy line or whatever, it's like they can make a ton of other things, car bumpers, and come off. Yeah. You know what I mean? They can make just baby bottles. They can do whatever.
Yeah.
So
that's the other thing to keep in mind, guys. It's like when the factory that's doing Marvel Legends isn't just doing toys. They're doing all sorts of products for everywhere around the world. So it's they're constantly switching gears. Like, all right, well, we're molding toys today. All right, well, we're molding radio parts tomorrow. Like, it's constantly fluctuating and changing. Because they're trying to make as much money as possible and move as much product out the door. So, and then the factories, they, because it's such a cutthroat economy out there that they're not really saying no. Someone comes to them and says, hey, can you make big wheels? They're like, yeah, we can make big wheels. And they're like, how are we going to fit that in the schedule? I don't know. We'll figure it out,
Right.
I work in the steel industry, and that's what it is. When you're producing basic stuff like that, yeah. I mean, we're always switching. It's cutthroat. Prices change. We're affected by the price of petroleum of all things.
Yep.
So real quick, I just want to go through these two questions, and I want to get to Adam. Talk about some Mortal Ruin, some Cursed Dead, because I want to know more about them because I'm excited about those figures as well. Rob asks, Bobby, was Dwight serious when he said he was so let down by the old Banshee figure that he can't bring himself to try again? He didn't laugh or smile, so it came off more awkward than funny.
I don't think there's any truth to that. Dwight is always looking for a reason to redo figures. I mean, look how many figures he has redone since, even like the 2014, 15, 16, 17 time. It's like, look, perfect example, Toxin. Toxin came out. Now they're doing another Toxin. So that was under Dwight's watch. So I don't believe that he's not going to go to that Banshee well again. If you were to ask my real opinion, he probably can't do Banshee because it's probably on the no-fly list right now. Remember how a couple shows ago I was saying how there were certain figures you got to do each year and some you couldn't. Like I told you, I could never do Cardiac because whatever artist has the rights to Cardiac, they don't want to pay him or whatever. So it could be that Banshee's just on the no-fly list just for this year or at this time. And then they're going to negotiate like, hey, we're going to try to get these characters into the pool in following years. So if I had to guess, that's probably the reason why he's not doing Banshee.
Gotcha.
And guys got to also remember, like, Dwight is the ultimate heel. Dwight is you know what I mean? Like, if you don't get wrestling, you don't get Dwight. Dwight is the heel, and he plays it to the nth degree. So you're never going to get the reaction that you think you ought to get.
100% heel. 100%.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
100%.
Dale Reject asks, "Oh yeah, how much is the markup at? How much of markup is it at retail compared to factory costs?"
Hasbro's $1 billion company. You figure it out.
You want to give away secret sauce.
That's all I gotta say. Like Hasbro's $1 billion company, and they're paying. How much do you think to make toys?
I mean, you got like Hasbro has offices literally all over the world.
Yeah,
they're selling markets all over. Like there's more than just Marvel Legends, right?
Yep.
And there's other markets than just the U.S. There's South America. There's other up and coming European countries. Russia is a big player now. The Middle East is a big player now, and with these different areas. And also cultural factors come into play too, because certain regions are now players. There's certain characters or certain things that just can't. It's a no fly, like certain things aren't going to go in the Middle East. You know what I mean? Certain looks or certain iconography, it's not going to work. So it's a lot of different factors.
Hey Dante, for real quick,
Yes.
click on my screen so we can show. I'm going to show something real quick.
Okay.
Who was that JLA Reject you asked that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just waiting for me to pop up.
While we wait for that pop up, we'll ask this question: is Dwight Baron Corbin level heel or 2011 Punk heel?
Wow, y'all, no chill.
Yo, our viewers, yo, everybody who watches, they go hard. They are not, they don't care. They want answers. They like,
I love it.
Dwight is probably Hollywood Hogan heel.
Oh, wow.
At least that was.
Wow.
That's how I felt when I was under him. I felt like Rey Mysterio not joining the NWO.
I was going to say, like, was it like you were like that guy in the back of NWO that random guy that joined? Like, hey, I'm just here with the T-shirt.
I was One Warrior Nation, baby. One Warrior Nation.
What's our top?
So I don't know if you can see my screen there, but that's the clearance sticker at Walmart. says $5. So Walmart at least wants to break even when they're getting rid of this shit. So they're probably making like $1 profit. So I'm guessing at minimum it's like $4 or less for these figures. That's what Walmart's paying. So
there's some things you just have to keep secret, right, Vonner?
Yeah, man.
So am I close?
I mean, you can't reveal all the secret sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's got to be like in that ballpark. I mean, you're probably Walmart's probably paying $2, $3, maybe $4.
See, I learned from the streets to keep your hands out of other people's pockets. I don't know.
Because they can't afford to just give this thing away. I mean, so. And you think Ross, when they show up at Ross, they're going for what, like $8? Something like that?
Probably.
I can't remember.
It's a long time.
So yeah, they're making a lot of money.
So Adam,
What's up?
you've been quiet, but we're gonna get some words out of you, sir.
Oh, hi. How's it going?
So
You got some Cursed Dead stuff up there.
Yes.
So yeah, Cursed Dead is one of my side chicks. So this is me, Josh Falcon, who is the younger brother of Jesse Falcon, which I'm sure you guys know who he is, and Phil Ramirez. So Phil Ramirez is a sculptor who's been doing this since he was like 16 years old. He used to work on Playmates figures back in the day, like Ninja Turtle stuff, you name it. He sculpted the vast majority of the Toy Biz Marvel Legends line. I'd say like 70% of it was him and Dave Cortez, and I think Phil handled a little bit more than Cortez did. And yeah, you see, there's a nice little sexy picture of me, Josh, and Phil right by the fire there. So
And we were all at dinner that night.
yeah, you were there. So Josh is the handsome guy on the right side. That's me in the middle, and then that big giant man on the left is Phil Ramirez. So he sculpted tons of Toy Biz stuff that you guys know and love, and he used to be a traditional sculptor. He's now a digital sculptor. So the three of us have been friends for a while, and we wanted to set out and kind of do our own take on some horror action figures. So we debuted the Cursed Dead at Designer Con back in November, and we've been working on prototypes ever since. We want to launch probably a Kickstarter campaign, and it'll probably be in the next couple months. But again, the state of the world, we're not in any crazy rush. I know our fans already are in a crazy rush to get their hands on this stuff, but we want to make sure that everything's done right, and people can afford it, and so it's coming along.
Well, I know they're huge companies, but McFarlane and Hasbro, they dropped a couple of big Kickstarters right in the middle of this, and they did pretty well.
Yeah.
They have Todd McFarlane has a name, like it's
right.
And Hasbro, they did a Sentinel, like it's like the biggest no-brainer known to mankind. So it's like I saw both of those, and yes, that makes me like, oh, like people are still spending money, but you have the giant name recognition there. So we'll see how it goes.
You could always put Sergeant Slaughter in line.
That's my cat.
Hey, we're toy collectors. We're crazy, and we have credit cards.
No,
Bring it on.
Hold on. What were we told? What were we called again? Entitled. That's what we called this week. Entitled.
Okay.
Oh, and instant gratification.
Yes. There you go.
We're entitled to get, good quality for our money, especially right now. And that fly figure is sick.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
they're all sick.
to talk about it a little bit more, like that. So the Brood, the one you just clicked on, was the vampire. This is the Fly. They're both based off of the same base body, and then the one with my cat, that's the demon. So there's going to be 2 demons. We have a couple other characters that are all built off of the same base body. We're going to do different pricing levels. The idea is that the demons and the Brood, or the vampires, are also called the Drinkers. They are going to be. We're going to encourage people to army build, so that they're closer to like a $25 price point. We're going to see if we can keep it in that range. It depends on how many we make. As you guys were just talking about before, it's all about how many pieces you make versus how much your cost is, and that at the end of the day, it's making the math work. So the goal is to have lower price point figures, and then something like the Fly will be more of a deluxe figure since it has the additional soft goods. So that's creeping back up into like a Mezco territory. But when I say Mezco territory, I'm thinking of like Mezco when the figures used to cost $80 and not over $100 like they all are now. And I promise we won't try to pack stickers and T-shirts in there so that way we justify the cost.
But no, when I first seen these from the toy show, they look great. I was already in love with them. Like I was like, yo, these are something different. There's something new. They look amazing already.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it was really cool being able to do Designer Con. I did it. We obviously showed off both the Cursed Dead and Mortal Ruin there, so it was a really great show. We got we have a lot of fans for both of our social media accounts already, which is all I can ask for at this point because honestly we don't have anything to sell yet. So it's all about like, hey, word of mouth, getting it out there. So if you guys dig this, share it with your friends, show your friends. We want to get a following so that way when we do launch these and pre-orders are available or the Kickstarter campaign is going, that way we already have a lot of people that know about this stuff. So that's the goal right now.
This right here sold me.
Yeah, so werewolf is like that. The werewolf and pig is the other one. That's the second body type, and that's likely going to be the second campaign. And that's my fiance in the background there. It's like in the comments too. Some guy commented and was like, I'm as thirsty as that girl is in the background, and so like it was great. And she started commenting back and forth with them, so like it's good stuff. But so pig and the werewolf are the second body type. Everything that we show, well, almost everything that we showed at Designer Con for the Cursed Dead were actually 2-ups, because basically like working with Josh and Phil, and by default Jesse is there in the background as our cheerleader, and it's like, hey, back in the day, Toy Biz, everything was 2-ups. It's all impressive when you look at 2-ups. You go to a convention, you go to San Diego Comic-Con, you go to Toy Fair, 2-ups really get people like they get their attention. So that's what we did for Designer Con, and that's why we're still working on the prototypes now, because we're actually doing our 104% prototypes that we can actually use for tooling at the factory level.
Yeah.
Man, that Designer Con sounds cool. That's like a bucket list convention for me.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was.
Oh man, you got it. Yeah.
It used to be in Pasadena, and I'd been many times, but then it moved to Anaheim, and this was the first time I've gone since it was in Anaheim. I think it was there maybe once or twice before, and it's a great show. I mean, like, you got DC Direct is there, Mezco's there, 1000 Toys is there, so it's like there are a lot of companies going, and the show was literally one of my favorite conventions I've been to recently.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. I definitely can't.
I got the pink skulls, so that's one of my pink skulls. I was lucky.
Yeah. I'm here with my buddy, Mr. Vampire. We hanging out.
Adam, what's the true scale?
So we have at the show, we had one of the Brood printed out at like a little over 6 inches tall. But then once we all saw it at the, basically we scrambled to get everything done for Designer Con. So once we were at the show and we're all sitting there setting everything up, I'm going and I'm buying Mezco figures. I've got other stuff that I'm messing with, and we're like looking at it and we're like, he's not big enough. So the Brood, the drinker here, this vampire, we're thinking he's probably going to be around like 6.75 inches as the final production height. So we're going like 4% up from that. So he's going to be just a hair under 7 inches when we have the prototypes finalized. It'll shrink a little bit, but he's going to be it'll be a sizable figure. He's not going to be giant. He's going to go in very well with Mezco stuff and Marvel Legends.
Now, I'm loving that you got the double jointed elbows on there. They're going to stay in there, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like honestly, like we both the Cursed Ed and Mortal Ruin articulation is my baby. Like it's what I live and breathe for. So honestly, as much as humanly possible, we actually did not have toe joints in the Cursed Ed prototypes, but I have been fighting for it. We do have toe joints in the Mortal Ruin figures, and I like toe joints, so I want to see them continue in both lines. So that's a fight that I'm continuing to fight with the guys. I think that I'll win since I'm the one who is printing these at the end of the day. So
I have a quick idea. So this is what you do. So you get some Action Force figures, and you have these guys fighting the Action Force figures. There you go. You have the Mortal Ruin guys with the Action Force fighting all the vampires and monsters and werewolves. There you go.
Bobby and I have texted each other about this before too. So it's like, honestly, like that's the thing. Like it's like I want people to buy Mortal Ruin figures and play with them with Action Force figures and vice versa, and like with their G.I. Joes and with their Mezcos and with their Marvel Legends. And it's like the thing that you got to understand is that like just because there's Marvel doesn't mean that there isn't DC. Like it's like you can have both. This is a toy world we can all play in, and it's like there's if you want to make your own dedicated shelf to something, cool. If you want to mix them together, cool. Like that's it's up to you, and like that's the whole point. And I think like I'm a fan of Action Force. I'm a backer. I think I have 4 figures now pre-ordered and at least 1 weapon pack, and it sounds like I'm going to add another one so that way I can get Gung Ho's proper cover. So cover. So like that's like honestly, like it's like these things can all work together, and like that's and like
how cool would it be to have an actual crossover like that though, like a Valor Bird,
like Sergeant Slaughter, Vampire Hunter.
Oh, yes. Bro, like honestly, man, like that's something that I always wanted to have. Like if different companies can actually do crossovers like that. Like I actually wanted to do a fucking Mattel Hasbro Marvel DC crossover with Justice League and the Avengers, man. And I was looked at like I was crazy, but it was like that would be so dope.
Bonner, I think maybe you weren't at Mattel yet, because I pitched to, and I'll say this because I don't think it'll get me in any trouble, but we'll see. Maybe I won't have a job on Monday. But like a couple of years ago to Mattel, I had pitched us, like Gentle Giant, using WWE assets that we've developed to make a Masters of the Universe figure. And I said the 4 Horsemen should use Masters of the Universe assets to make a WWE figure and do it as like a Comic-Con 2-pack. Like it's like use like the He-Man buck to make like a Triple H, and like we would use the Triple H buck to make a He-Man, and like put that out. And like I just thought that was like the coolest idea ever. It didn't go anywhere.
Adam, let's start a new trend. I'm down. Let's do it.
I'm telling you, I really think if more independent guys did that, because they have the freedom. I mean, when you get the licensing thing, that's one thing. It's a headache. But when it's your own characters, I mean, like treat it like Image. You know what I mean? Like you not only can you create your own world, your own universe, but then you can clash them. And now is even more fun for the fans and yourself because you can do more stuff. It's like customizing your line now, and that's some untapped potential right there.
100%.
You heard it here first. Here to hear, folks. Infinity Equation is now bringing worlds together. Yeah. We are doing Worlds Collide here. Worlds Collide.
And then you got to pitch that as like a Netflix show, Cursed Ed versus Action Force. How dope would that be, man?
That would be so dope. I mean, you could play with the packaging; it can interlock and all that. You know, you can have a special character come out of that amalgamation of.
Bonner, get a contract signed by me and Vala, but don't just give all the ideas away for free.
Right.
All right, I can't stop. You know, when I start going, boy, it's like bam. So I got chill.
Right. Look, I'll be hyping this too. I'll be right with you. Like, yo, just go ahead and put my name on there. I'll hype this up like there's no end. Like, I'm hyping. That. I can think about it now. Bobby, I need your Action Force figures like tomorrow. And Adam, I need your
see what I can do
by tomorrow too, so I can just like put them together and just like have that little fight. So I'd be like a 5-year-old kid that I was, like pew pew. Let me stop.
I'm telling you, man. I think in my mind is like I would love to have like all the independent companies, man, like really come together and unite, because especially now in the type of situation that we're in, like we kind of everyone needs each other like that. It's kind of, I was talking about this today, but this is kind of like the collapse of the comic book industry, man. You know, it's like we're facing that again. So how do you overcome that? You got to partner up and come up with different strategies.
You can elevate it even more by having a cross company Build-A-Figure.
There you go. Oh man,
I'm telling you, it's money out there. I'm saying, it's man.
Look, here you go. Articulate said untapped potential for sure. Me and Glenn are ready to be film editors. There you go. There you go.
I'm down. Articulated, it does some of the most beautiful reviews and stuff that I've ever seen in my life.
They make you want to cry. Yo, it's so good. It's so good.
Amazing.
Check out last week's episode where we had them on as guests.
Yes. If you did miss it, after this show, well, actually, after you watch on Parallel tonight, then go back.
So maybe tomorrow then.
Yeah, tomorrow. You catch on SoundCloud, you catch it on YouTube, you catch it on iTunes, catch it on your little favorite stations. But don't miss tonight's live shows. Just watch tomorrow when you're sitting there having your morning coffee. And shout out to real quick. Shout out to Foreign Foamers. They always shouting us out on every Sunday when they're having their coffee. So listening to the Infinity Quiz. We appreciate you. Thank you. But so Adam, who's this real quick? Because this looks like
Krampus. So
yes.
we teased that guy on Christmas Eve. So that's another one that will be based off of the werewolf body. So that's more of a Wave 2 figure. But
Gotcha.
We're all so excited about this that like we actually have there's even more body types that we've started on that have not been shown yet, because I just have been pulling back because we don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse.
Right.
It's like we're all excited here, but we need to get some stuff finished and make some things before we just keep playing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, hey, nothing against Wave 1.
Right.
Because Wave 1 looks dope, but man, give me some Wave 2.
Oh, no doubt. That's the goal.
Well, Krampus come with a sack, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. I just want him to come. He's got to come with the sack. There's got to be like a good sack of stuff. Yeah. No, not children. He's just going to stuff everybody in there. Don't matter. Action Force, Marvel Legends, some DC. Everybody gets stuffed in there. Everybody.
You can actually, if we make the sack big enough, the UFC figures will probably all fit in there. Thank you.
No chill.
Wow.
No flex zone. It's a no flex zone.
The wound hasn't even closed yet.
Right. Oh, you know what? This is
Bobby, I worked on those too, man. Come on. I feel the same pain. It's cool, man.
When it's the ones that love you, hey, it hurts even more.
I just thought about this. Hush Batman fighting werewolves. Yo, this is okay. Let me stop because I'll get super excited now that I ain't got figures I ain't got yet. But you got my vote. When you let me know, I will be there putting. I don't care what it is. Like what? How much? I don't care. Bobby already got my money. Who else is gonna get my money this year? Let's see. Everybody else.
That Krampus looks badass.
Yes. I know. Even like, so is this the new rendering?
Yeah, well, this is the alternate head for the Brood, which Brood is also known as the Drinkers. We didn't want to just call them the Drinkers because I don't know, it was elected that was too on the nose for the guys working on these things. So they're the Brood, aka the Drinkers, and this is the variant head. So the regular head has the creepy closed mouth, kind of evil grin. This is the open mouth, ready to suck your blood, eat your flesh, kind of deal.
Yes. This is good with Morbius.
So yeah, some of the demons will actually have articulated jaws and stuff, but we didn't want to do an articulated jaw on the Brood, the Drinker, because we didn't want to sacrifice the sculpts. So.
Okay. Oh, so that actually brings up another question for you. Will you be also doing like the pinless joints, like where you can't see the pins, or will you be able? Are you not going with that yet?
I have touched one of those. I don't know how much I'm supposed to talk about that. I want to see. I'd like to see it come out. I like to see how people feel about it, and We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not against it by any means. It's great to be able to hide pins, but I also am enough of a toy fan and an articulation fan that it doesn't bother me that much. And like you see a lot of other companies do lots of things to get rid of pins. Like Storm Collectibles has those like sandwiched joints on top of joints that are then inserted into like the elbows and forearms. And it's like, to me, the sandwiched discs in there take my eyes out of it, and I see articulation.
Right. It breaks the illusion.
It's like the pin. It does the same thing that a pin does to my eyes.
Right.
We'll see. I'm not, like I said, I'm not against it. Insert molded stuff is great. There's more to it than just that. We'll see.
There's limits to insert molded stuff too. There's limits to it, so it has its pros and cons.
Indeed. Oh, you got Mortal Ruin now. So
yes.
So Mortal Ruin is the design team behind Articulated Icons. So the guys, like it's me, Renee Aldrete, who if you guys are familiar with, he's on Instagram, but all he does is repost Hasbro promotional pictures of stuff he's worked on. So he doesn't do the social media thing all that much, but he's a great sculptor. He sculpted a ton of stuff. He worked on the UFC stuff. He's worked on a ton of stuff with me, Bobby Bonner, WWE, Hasbro, Diamonds, you name it, tons of toys and Articulated Icons. The third member of the Mortal Ruin team is Scott Akers, who I lovingly nicknamed Beardy because I'm really good at nicknames, and he has a big beard. So he is a painter in-house at Gentle Giant. Renee's a digital sculptor at Gentle Giant. I'm a creative director at Gentle Giant. So we all work together. We love each other. We did Articulate Icons. Now we're doing Mortal Ruin. Mortal Ruin is our post-apocalyptic line, where Bobby's like Action Force is, I think, a little bit more like G.I. Joe land. I think ours is a little bit more like we're going towards like Metal Gear Solid, and Beardy and I both love Acid Rain, the 3 3/4 inch line. You might be able to see behind me. So our storyline, Beardy's the one coming up with the whole storyline, character names and everything, so you can read some of it. If you go to mortalruin.com, it's got links to both our Instagram and our Facebook page, and we've got some of the story elements through the Instagram posts. But this is a lot more in the future. We're designing our own weapons, so like they're all futuristic weapons. And the line is starting with what we're calling like squad builders like these, but we wait until you see what we have planned, because like there's a lot more to it than just this, and there's a lot more to the story that goes way beyond. But like
a lot more levels.
You like Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that, you'll start to get the idea of where we're planning on heading with this. And like basically this would just be the very, very beginning, and We're gonna veer off into crazy town soon. Is the idea. If we're successful.
Gotcha. So when can we expect this Kickstarter?
Man, I mean, like, that's it. Like, this is where Bobby is a genius. He is focused entirely on Action Force, and then like with both Cursed Dead and Mortal Ruin, it's like I'm working with 2 other guys on both sides, and like we all have day jobs, so we're doing this on the side for our love and like wanting to do things ourselves. So we're trying. Obviously, quarantine has kind of helped. Like it's like we've been getting a lot of work done, so it is nice. I don't want to set a timeline on either of these. I kind of mentioned it earlier that like with the state of the world and everything, like I'm hoping that financially people are back into the feeling confident in their ability to spend money, not on just Todd McFarlane and Hasbro Sentinels, but like for little guys like us, where every little bit will help. So these guys were superposable. We want them to go mishmash with every line you can imagine, or you can just make your own Mortal Ruin shelf.
So you were saying like there you had some designs for an articulate icons. Are these going to be like mix and match like with the icons were, or are they just going to become with like you set like the arms like the I should say they had they just had different arms you could swap out the arm packs? Would this be the same like with these as well?
I mean, obviously we learned a lot through articulated icons. I think that Bobby's been talking about this, I know, with his line as well, where it's like hands and heads and then like overlays, stuff like that. Obviously that mix match whatever you want. Having like I obviously I like to customize. I used to like to customize a lot more. I barely have time for it these days, but that was an important part of articulated icons, and it was like, this is gonna be great. We'll be able to swap off the arms, do all this stuff, but it opens up a world of trouble as well. So while it's going to be possible, it's going to be a thing where it's like, no, you need to be an experienced customizer. It's not just pull the arms out right out of the package, because then we're going to have breakage everywhere. So experienced customizers will be able to mix and match a lot more, but it's not going to be meant to be like, just yank limbs off right out of the package. It's like, go heat up some hot water, use a hairdryer or a heat gun, do some things, and yes, absolutely, the parts are going to be able to be mixed and matched throughout the line. But yeah, hands and heads and gear are going to be the thing that right out of the box, of course.
Nice. Okay.
I love the form of the figure, man. Like when you guys really did a good job, like with the anatomy of the figure. It looks really good.
Renee's been doing this for a long time. He's an amazing sculptor. I mean, go check out Renee Aldrete on Instagram. Like you'll see.
Renee's an unsung hero in this toy world.
Yeah.
Beardy is an amazing painter. He's an amazing, he could sculpt too. He's an amazing customizer, and he's the one that is in charge of like our story stuff. I mean, like I'm his editor, I guess, and I get to weigh in, and he gets to tell me that my ideas suck. But like he's got some awesome stuff going on, and like literally notebooks and notebooks filled with stuff, and it's a really cool intellectual property that we're trying to develop.
Hey Adam, did you guys sculpt Shang-Chi for Marvel Legends?
Yeah, Shang-Chi was a team up of Renee and May Shelf. So May is digital sculptor, General Giant also. He did the head, and then Renee did the body.
Yeah, because fucking Hasbro needs to use this body so much more. That's how you do butterfly joints, Hasbro.
Yep.
You can do it on this. Why can't you do it on these other figures? And also the arms. We were talking about on the last show how the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man that just came out in the retro wave,
I'm so disappointed in this. It's like they basically took the Sunfire figure and then kind of chopped in articulate. And like, it's funny, this is the other thing I was going to talk about earlier. Bobby, when we were doing, I think it was Superior Octopus. Do you remember the Doc Ock Spider-Man?
I didn't do Superior Ock.
That wasn't you?
No, yeah.
That was the last wave with you. All right.
The Kingpin wave, and then the Mysterio movie, or the Molten Man movie wave. Those are my 2 Spider-Man waves.
Superior Rock was in Kingpin, wasn't he? Am I wrong?
He was. We had like pitched him, but then we took him out. But I never sculpted him up.
Well, anyway, we had put this style torso articulation in that figure, and it didn't happen. So, yeah.
I wonder if it was a. Sometimes when that happens, there's an issue of capacity, like the body's being used in multiple places, and it becomes an issue with the factory. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I would always have to talk to Dwight about my waves because I'd have to see what parts he was using. Because if I wanted to use a certain body, they only duplicated tools on. I think they only did like the Bucky cap. Like they duplicated that tool like 2 or 3 times because they used it so often. But if there was a body that they didn't, we had to make sure that we could fit the capacity. Sometimes I had to change up a torso or something like that because Dwight would never get to switch up his line. I would have to switch up my line.
See that's a common problem when you have like multiple lines in the same scale. Like the companies want to share tools, and parts. We ran into that obviously with Marvel and with WWE. Certain heads or certain parts couldn't be used because that part was being used elsewhere, or you want to introduce a certain part in your more collector line, and then ultimately have it show up in later waves and other lines. So it's like you got to schedule what's being used for what.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's up? Go ahead, Ty.
It's frustrating that I think Dr. Doom has better leg range than these really, martial artist characters. It's like, why can't Shang-Chi do the splits, or Spider-Man can't do the splits, but fucking Dr. Doom can? Like, what the fuck's going on? It's so frustrating.
Justin says, no articulated jaw on every figure. Don't want to sacrifice sculpt hard pass now. Don't listen to Justin.
It depends. The Mortal Ruin figures, none of them are going to have articulated jaws. So just getting that out of the way right away. But for the Cursed Dead, they obviously the werewolf is going to have an articulated jaw. I think Pig will have an articulated jaw. At least one of the demons is going to get an articulated jaw. Krampus will probably get an articulated jaw. It's however we can integrate it best into the sculpt. That's the way we're going to do it as is. Like, we figured out on a case by case basis. I mean, like, we're all artists, so we're gonna pick and choose as we deem fit.
ToyMigos says, don't know. He sounds interesting. Hey, we're all here for the fun. Wrestling House says, hey, Adam, have you worked with Bill McKenna?
With Bill McKenna is who I email and work with him on a daily basis. Like Bonner knows, it's me and Bill are back and forth about working on the WWE line.
Yeah, I actually sat right behind Bill, so I will always hear the call. Bill tracking down Adam playing hard to get, can't do fast. Like, see, this is some inside stuff. Like when something happens, because something happens every day, or change may happen every day. Like, you think you have your line constructed, on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday something happens, and then you got to change everything, especially in WWE. So, you try to track Adam down, and homeboy's like, ghost town. Just when you need him. But then he'll pop up when you got him. You got it. When you got him, you got him. But you know,
see, at least you were on the West Coast with him. When I was dealing with him, shit, I'm on the East Coast. I can't get a hold of him until 3:00 my time.
oh yeah, it's a pecking order. It's a pecking order. Like you gotta wait in line. You gotta wait in line. Like you know, this whole like social distancing stuff that we doing now. That shit been in existence dealing with Adam and Gentle Giant. We had to wait in line for that.
Oh man. Yates says Yates 6417 says I knew there were some MSG inspirations. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, no, Metal Gear, like it's like honestly, like I said, me and Beardy, we love Acid Rain, we love Metal Gear, you know, like Call of Duty, like the more futuristic-y stuff. Like that's where we're kind of digging with our inspiration. But go to mortalruin.com, read the blurb that's right there on the main page, and then if you click through the pictures, like the picture that's up on screen right now, that's the RSA Frontier Corpsman. Like read through. Like Beardy has got some awesome stories. There's way more like to it than just this. The 3 figures that we debuted at DesignerCon that were unpainted. I have the paint masters of all of them. I mean, the other, you know, you've seen this guy painted already on the Instagram page. The other 2 figures are literally sitting right over here. I just haven't shot pictures of them and posted them yet because of the state of the world and you know, some controversy as far as military and police stuff going on right now. So I've just been kind of sitting on it, and it's coming, guys. Like it's like we're working on it. We're making progress on additional figures that you haven't seen yet. So there's, you know, it is coming. I promise. It's not going anywhere.
Wrestling Hound asks if I wanted to make my own action figures / start my own toy company, how would I do that?
Jesus, that's a loaded question.
It's not.
I get that probably 2 or 3 times a week, like Instagram and Facebook, and I'm just like, listen, I would love to be able to write you a 5-paragraph essay on just the start of it, but it's like that's a really loaded question. Like there's so much to it and so much behind the scenes stuff that you could do a whole podcast on it. Yeah,
do a series of podcasts.
A series, yeah. Yeah.
Someone should have had that conversation with Cryptid Toys.
Don't please don't. That dude is the most wanted guy at a toy company and buy toys. Like that dude. Oh, I feel bad for the people who did not get their money back when they had that last chance to do it.
Yeah.
Because he is never going to show back up again.
Yeah, it's a very expensive endeavor to get into. And also there's, you know, it's a lot of it's a lot of pieces that you got to connect together, you know, and ultimately you gotta trust what you get out of Asia, you know, and you know, that's a big hit or miss, you know, and you got to be there. It helps to be there to know what's actually going on in the factory to actually get what you want. And like I know guys, man, that have, they've lost it. You know, they've lost everything, their mind and their finances doing this stuff. You know, so I would kind of suggest instead of starting a toy company, you like focus on what type of aspect you want to cater to within the toy world. You know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe there's if you can link up. Like to me, I'm all about partnerships and relationships. So if not everyone is going to be into the toy that you want. You know, Marvel has so much mass appeal. You know, and so much history behind it. But if you try to start your own thing, I mean, who's really going to be into it? How you going to promote it? You know, and how it's going to look. So there's a lot of factors you got to go into think about before you decide to make it your own. You know, but there's a lot of guys out here who cater to different aspects of the toy world. Like guys do stop motion. You know, that's turned into a thing. Photography has turned into a thing. Custom packaging, doing bootleg toys has turned to a thing. So it's like sometimes you got to kind of turn the idea on his ear a little bit and figure out, hey, maybe I can cater to a different aspect of the business, but still, do what I love.
Hey, David Vonner, I assume you've seen the new a War Machine from Hasbro.
Yep.
How did you feel about the new head sculpt? Since you were the original War Machine.
I mean, it's funny because I guess the the original War Machine, it just had a little bit of, and I'm not saying because it's me, but it just had a little personality, some personality to it. But I dig it. You know what it is. You know what it is about designing
The original Toy Biz War Machine used to get ladies pregnant.
Well, I mean, the head actually fits the art of. I mean, it fits the art of the comic book. I mean, it is what it is. It's the artist's rendition. It's but it's at the same time, man. It's I have a hard time, seeing African American figures look a certain way when I'm like, man, it's such an old look or old style. And I know that had someone of African American descent worked on it, maybe it would have been a different look. It kind of comes off a little generic. Like for instance, when Adam and I worked on the Bill Foster Goliath, we kind of did an amalgamation. Adam kind of was like, we were talking about like Morris Chestnut, and we didn't want it to look like a particular actor to get in trouble, but at the same time, we wanted to look like it was an actual human and not some generic black guy. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that War Machine, even though the art is very close to comic art, it just kind of comes off. It just looks a little like generic black guy, but that's a byproduct of having the right cultural representation, do the art, do the storytelling, this is one reason why diversity matters. That's one reason why. When you get stuff like that, it's cool, but does it look authentic? To me, no.
It would have been really cool if Hasbro would have reached out to you and suggested maybe doing a tribute to that original Toy Biz figure,
right?
And including,
I think
we did it with Marvel.
I think that would have opened up a can of legal worms. You know what I mean? Because actually, we got shut when I was at Hasbro. We actually got shut down from doing that, from actually using, our heads on the figures, because there was a legal blowback from someone who worked at Hasbro, and it was like, it was just causing too much of a headache. So, I mean, at least when I was there, I don't know if those things had changed, but and it ended kind of like when with our Kitty Pryde figure from Marvel Universe, it was actually, the head was based on one of the marketers on the team. And then right after that, that's when something had happened with this legal situation. But that Kitty Pryde was in the process of being manufactured. We couldn't stop it. We couldn't stop the train, and we wound up going with it. But it was like an inside mandate at the time that we couldn't do that anymore.
My head on Iceman was the last time they did that, and I kind of got in trouble for that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. When I first got there in 2012. I was working on a Marvel Legends box set, my first ever Legends item. I said, shit, I'm putting my head on Iceman. And Proctor had taken pictures of me and stuff, and we got it sculpted up, and then it tooled. And because it was an exclusive item, no one really had eyes on it. So when we found out, Mick was like, you can't ever do that again. And he's like, we're just going to let this one slide under the carpet.
Right. But I mean, it's you hear a lot of that too, man. It's a lot of the times where it's like, yo, you can't never do that again. You're gonna let this slide. Yeah. Like you try to get things in, man. It's like it's little tricks that you try to do to get what you want. Because I mean, we're I mean, we're not just manufacturers and stuff. We're also fans. And as a fan, it's like you have in your mind what a particular body should look like or a particular head should look like. You know, you want to, and you want to throw Easter eggs in there too. You want to make it fun. And so it's like you do little things with the body or a head. You try to sneak in there some iconography. You want to sneak in there, like, you know, it's a lot of things that, you know, you can float. But when you get that little hand slap, it's like, oh man, you got to wait a while, and then you got to play with it again.
The one thing I like a lot more on the ToyBiz version of that War Machine is the minigun. The sculpt on the sculpt on the new one. Like, you can barely see any holes for the barrels, and like the barrels are themselves are not very well defined. So
yeah, I think that's what it is for me. You know, I wish this new version of War Machine was like. Remember when War Machine was like really messed up and had that tank tread and all that other stuff? Like, I just wish either that or just like come up with a whole new look altogether. Like, work with the publishing team to come with a whole cool look, and then to make it even cooler, like have it show up in the publishing, have it, you know, in the comic or whatever, and then the toy come in. But like, you can really play with the artist at that point and really come up with something cool. You know, I mean, I don't know what the process was. I don't really hold it in any personal regard, you know, like that I should have been contacted or anything like that. But it's a cool nod nonetheless. You know what I mean? But as a Bob Layton fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a Bob Layton fan, I just dig War Machine, just the character.
Because when I seen the head sculpt, it kind of reminded me of like the old Iron Man cartoon. That's
the
what
cartoon,
yeah,
right?
And like, not even like like the first time like I see it, like, isn't that from like
it looks generic.
Yeah, it's like
with the box haircut. It's like, yo, like, we don't even wear that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have hooked it up. You could have finessed it, and that's what I mean. Like, that's when, and there's no shot to anyone that worked on it, but it's like, that's what happens when you don't really have diversity like that. You know, I mean, and it happens often. Like, you know, certain Asian characters is like, you know, like that Shang-Chi. I mean, come on. I mean, honestly, that's not what
Shang-Chi was sculpted by May Shelf, and May Shelf is from Thailand, I believe.
No, but the manufacturing end of it, that's when you gotta stay on top of that, because a lot of that sculpted stuff is gonna get lost. That detail is gonna get lost, and that's when you gotta be a dog on it and make sure that detail on those little features or characteristics, or little nuances that you have to add to over accentuate in the molding process, in the manufacturing process. Then you gotta stay on that. You know, because the sculpt is always going to be better than the end result. But the sculpt also is a totally different process from start to finish. You know, so I don't know. I mean, that's just me. I just feel like if you have certain people who understand the subtle nuances of the ethnicity of what you're working on, they would kind of see that stuff. Hey, the nose is too wide, the lips are too big, the hairstyle, we don't really got that anymore. Like, you know, you got to have those serious conversations. And sometimes people don't want to have that because it's too touchy. But the end result is even more of a cluster than anything else. But now you got me going, so I need to stop.
Just a couple more things here from the viewers here. Articulate says Renee and Mayshelf are absolute legends. Action figure expert says Superior Octopus was in the Demo Goblin wave.
The Demo Goblin wave. Yeah, Demo Goblin's just like that's another old sculpt. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, figure says because Dr. Doom is superior to any character, of course he's more flexible.
That's right. He's like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right. Judson says both toy lines look badass. He said, because he was telling me his other comment was sarcastic, and I know I was just messing with you, Judson. Always got to have a good time.
We're all a bunch of wise asses. It's all good.
Right. Like, look, I told you this is the most. This is right here. This is showing the most diabolical haters in the world. Hey.
We're a bunch of adults that play with toys.
Right.
Come on.
We're all having a good time here because after this show, I gotta go put some water in Buck Nasty Mama's dish. Articulate says yes. Likeness rights issues are tricky, especially recently with deep fakes. Wrestling House. Actually, I did miss this from. He said thank you for the advice as well. He's also said I need a Homelander figure to beat the fuck out of my McFarlane Superman.
Didn't NECA kind of tease? Maybe is that Homelander's from The Boys, right?
Yeah.
I think that was a Homelander tease.
Right?
Where?
Yeah.
I missed
Some
that.
kind of a laser vision thing that seemed like it might have been a tease for that.
I missed that one. I have to go back. Was it on Twitter or on Instagram?
It all blends together, man. Social
Yeah.
media. I'll send you a link if I find it.
All right. Born to Hula says hopped in late and already enjoying it. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody coming out here. And I know. Here's Todd with this nonsense. Here we go. We ain't got time for this, Todd. We just tell that collector. I told him bring his pathetic ass here after the reset.
That was how I spent my entire week this week. I wasn't.
Yep.
This is what they told everybody. They told me and my lady this. I hate to do this. I don't hate to do this. No, because I love her so much. Shout out to my woman who helped me go out there and shop for some damn figures, even though she didn't know what the hell these things were. But I love you, babe. Love you. I appreciate you coming to help me go find some figures.
Do you ever find that when you're shopping with your lady, she has like that luck to find the rare stuff that you always been searching for? Me too, man. Yo, I'm in Long Beach and there's this antique shop, and my wife went in there and she found all these super pristine WWF Galoob figures, and I was like, "How the hell did you find that?" And they were like super cheap. Yo, she just walked in there like, "You like this? You like that?" I was like, "Yo, I'll be there in 5 minutes." Ran down there.
But this is what you do. This is the part that you do. And I know all of us in here have ladies, so this is what you do. You take them with you. You be like, you ain't got to search for nothing. You just go chat up the person because you look good,
right?
And they see me with you, then they be like, nah. But you go by yourself,
yeah. And tell her wear that button down. I mean, not to objectify anybody, but hey, if that's your wife, hey baby, help me out. Wear that nice. That this is a team effort.
Hey, use what the good Lord gave you. That's what I said.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? This marriage goals.
Right. Yeah. This is why we're together, baby. You knew what you did.
Blood in, blood out.
I made that meme last year when all the 80th anniversary stuff was coming out, and what was the Walmart exclusive was what, Captain America?
Yeah.
And my girlfriend drove to the next town and snatched him up for me. So I was like, yeah,
that's love.
That's love, man.
That's love.
Wait. Wrestling Hound's like, I'm too young for a wife, y'all. Lucky. Look, Wrestling Hound. We ain't saying you got to have a wife, but if you
can rent somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just can't rent mine. I'm sorry. You can't rent mine. You can rent somebody else, but you can't rent mine.
Yeah, that's off limits. But I mean, 1-800 rent a wife.
Right? Yo, even Judge is with it. He's like, truth, my wife finds everything I can't. Yo, that's all it is. Like, yo, but that's what I'm gonna start sending. There you go, Adam. When you start looking for G.I. Joes, you send your lady in. You be like, hey, babe, just go talk to find somebody that look like they know something and ask them for Joes.
Pre-pandemic, I would go to stores with. I have a 6.5-year-old son who's adorable, and it's like if he asks, like I'll be like, "Yo, you want Beachhead?" And it's like, "Do you guys have Beachhead?" And it's like, "That's a weed."
Right there you go.
It's for him, it's not for me.
Yeah, you know, it would be the trifecta if you take your son, your wife, and like a little dog, like one of those emotional support dogs. Yo, you can clear up.
You just stay in the shadows, like yes,
Yeah,
excellent,
yeah.
excellent. So
That's the real Dr. Doom stuff right there.
you see Adam come to that store with all these beach chairs in the bag. I got him.
Not sharing a thing.
Bobby come out with his one gung ho, like I got him. Yeah, I knocked out the rest of their stuff, but I got him. He's gonna have a cap. He's gonna have a cover. Sorry, a cover. He's gonna have that cover. Oh man, gentlemen, thank you, man. This was hilarious. I appreciate you. I know you gentlemen have to get on with Parallel. You know, have some good times with him now. But we appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh, man, it was definitely a good time. You know.
Yo, Bobby, I love that collection back there. It's like a crazy. What you got back there, man? What's that? Is that Phoenix?
Like 3,000 Steel Brigade figures.
It's every Joe made. It's every Joe made.
Yo, you keep all your samples, didn't you?
Sure fucking did. Dude,
that's another thing to show when you get your samples. It's like Christmas in July every time they come in.
My basement is filled. I got probably 3 of everything I ever worked on. Listen, 12-inch figures. Shit, I got a whole rack of 12-inch figures back there.
I'm hitting you right now.
Man, I kept all my samples, man. I didn't let them keep shit.
Does Hasbro still do the green tags?
No, they stopped doing green tags.
What? Damn.
Yeah.
That was the mark of excellence, dog. You got the green tag. That was it.
They stopped in 2017, like the tail end of 2017. All of a sudden, they were like, yeah, we're not doing green tags. What they would start to do is you'd go to the green tag meeting, and they'd have one set. And you get to look it over, and then they kept it in the sample room. You can make a comment or whatever, but you're like, where are my samples? Like, got to get them from your marketer. So it's like, shit, man. It's like that was like your box sample. That was like, that was it, man. That was
like, you knew your green tag samples were basically the best of the best. They was like, it's better than getting something unpunched.
Yep.
You know, it's the best. The best, because the factory always want to lead with their best foot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they want to send you the best samples.
If you're lucky and you make the right comments at VSP and like EP, your FEP is like your good sample. You know, your if nothing's wrong and they fixed everything, your FEP was basically like your in-package sample. But if there was still some shit that was fucked up on FEP, you were taking that out, you were looking at it, then it's, you know, it's kind of trash. But yeah, man, they did away with green tags at the end. That was a bummer.
Yeah.
So I was bugging my marketer like, hey, listen, here's a list. This is what I'm gonna need.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, it would get grimy.
It would. And then it was like, because when they stopped green tags, it was like, say you wanted like a Star Wars Comic-Con item. It was kind of like, all right, well, what do you got to trade? Can you get me this Can you get me this Marvel Comic-Con item? And it's like, ooh, I only got one of those. You know, so it's like it got real dicey there. You know?
Yeah. I've seen some arguments over some green tags, man. I mean, I've seen arguments, bro. Like, I've seen it go down.
Yeah.
Green tags go missing from someone's office and then show up in like Newberry Comics somewhere. Oh,
dude, one day I was in Toys R Us in Attleboro. Remember that by the mall? Dude, I was in there and I saw a Hawkeye from the Avengers movie line, from the 4-inch line from the first Avengers movie with a number stamped on his head.
Oh, that's from the factory.
I was like, someone got laid off, took their samples, returned them to Toys R Us, and got some store credit. They just put that shit on the shelf.
Wow.
It's a whole sub world. It's a whole subculture to this stuff, man.
Connor, we gotta go, man.
All right.
Real quick, all right. I want to say thank you to Armaz, Judson, Art, and Unboxing. Appreciate you guys for modding up the chat this week. We appreciate you guys. Dave, you're more than welcome to come back next week.
All right, I'll come play with you guys. Thank you.
Adam, you do like 3 jobs, man. You got like 4 jobs. Like, how many jobs you got, man?
He's Jamaican. He's
How many
Jamaican.
jobs you got, man? You work at Just a Giant. You're a ToyMigos. You working on Mortal Ruin. You working on Cursed Dead. How
Adam
many
Van
jobs?
Papa Clock.
Adam, you're more than welcome to come back next week too, sir.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll have some
See if
news.
my
to talk about.
fiance lets me.
There you go. That's the main thing, you know. But all right, everybody, tell them where you can. Adam, where can they find you at?
I'm playing with myself on Facebook and Instagram. You can go to mortalruin.com or cursedead.com. You can find the Instagram and Facebook pages on there. But yeah, playing _with _myself. It's the little, see it right here, right? Yeah. That's me.
Dave, where can they find you at?
I'm Dave Vonner. Dave Vonner. You can find me at Dave Vonner. On Facebook. I mean, it's simple and plain. You know what I mean? Hook it up. Follow the name.
And just real quick, Wrestling Hell out here giving out SmackDown show stuff, talking about the Fiend choked out Alexa Bliss. Now I gotta go. Now I gotta go watch it.
All right, shit.
All right, folks. We're gonna let you. We're gonna get everybody out here. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. And David and Adam will be back next week. So there you go. So you have something to look forward to. So all right, see y'all. Bye.